Hello, welcome back, my Royal Rogues. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Royal Rogue, and today I wanted to talk about some of the nonsense that the plastic gobshite has tried to push on his book about William, Catherine, and all the royal family. Because this is more than just marketing for the sausages. This is an attack by proxy, which I will be explaining in a minute. Think of this of a review of ENDGAME, but of course, full disclaimer, I did not read that drivel. I value my time and my sanity, so I won't fill my head with that crap. I'm just going to comment based on the stuff that's already out there. But if you fancy reading it, I cannot stop you from doing so. But let's start with this comment by Brigantia on a brief idea on that book. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's biographer suggested that the Prince and Princess of Wales will fail to modernize the monarchy. On modernizing the monarchy, what does Omidiscovi actually mean? What is the expectation? And that is something that we need to get straight. There is no way to modernize the monarchy. When you say modernize the monarchy, you're implying that the monarchy itself has become outdated. Have you seen any member of the royal family using that term? Of course not, because nobody believes that the monarchy has become outdated. Of course, things have evolved since the days of Henry VIII, but it's not because the monarchy has tried to modernize itself. It's just a natural passing of time, culture changes, and changes in social, political, and scientific fields. Who sold the idea that Meghan came to modernize anything? It was herself. Because you know the American biracial, double divorce Hollywood actress came in hard to upend whatever was happening at the House of Windsor. And not gonna lie, we have seen that trope in many movies, from King Ralph to The Princess Diaries. Because we all want to root for the underdog who comes to add colors to an otherwise gray and dull institution. That's a story that sells very well. And that's the story that Meghan knew she was going to sell. She was never meant to fulfill. She knew before marrying Harry that she would never be part of the royal family team. We saw that in the engagement interview. She was already scheming to take the sausage royal brand or any other royal title she would have gotten into something commercial. So the empty promise of the modernizing could be sold as well as something that could never be fulfilled because she had to leave that toxic environment. How sad. And they are using Discount Barbican's ENDGAME book to keep attacking the royal family by proxy. As in, they're not attacking the royal family directly, but are using him as a puppet to make it seem like the royal family, and especially William and Catherine, have something against them. Take a look at this. Princess Kate shudders and giggles every time she hears about Meghan Markle claims bombshell new book. According to the author, Prince William would never have accepted a Hollywood actress as his wife due to their different values. Kate agreed with her husband as Scovey suggested the princess immediately saw Meghan as her rival. The 42-year-old author wrote, Kate spent more time talking about Meghan than with Meghan. This quote is allegedly from a close friend of the Prince and Princess of Wales. I want to ask you a question. Do you really think it was Scobie who wrote this book, or it was just Meghan that pushed for him to publish what J.R. Muringer would not allow to include in Spare? Because you remember the plastic fantastic claiming that this book was not about Meghan and Harry, but the current state of the royal family, right? Which is a lie, because what he has set himself to do is a character assassination of mainly the two heads, in this case, the one who called the shots, as I usually say. Because after the documentary wanted to paint the monarchy as the British Empire Part 2, the only thing left is cheap gossip from a third-grade journalist. That's why it's been combined with headlines like this one. Meghan exchanged awkward pleasantries with King Charles and begged Harry to fix feud. Meghan Markle is said to have spoken on the phone with King Charles last week, and amid the Duchess' attempts to get foot in the door. Because Meghan has no real plan besides trying to make that Charles and Meghan in-laws relationship be on the spotlight again. That's why this video of Charles, then the Prince of Wales, walking Meghan down the aisle became viral. Meghan is nobody without the royal association, her so-called brand will be toast. And she's the one pushing for the division between fans of William and Catherine and fans of King Charles and Queen Camilla. Look at this. Straight from that stack of unused toilet paper. Prince Catherine and Meghan Markle's lack of communication during the Fab Four reunion the day after the Queen's death made for a silent car journey before their joint Windsor appearance, bombshell book claims. Okay, first of all, the car ride lasted a little more than 2 minutes. And second, William and Catherine had to spend those 2 minutes of their lives with these two bratwurst gobblers who spent the previous 2 years making the lives of Prince Philip and Queen Elizabeth miserable. Okay, I understand you want to make it seem like Catherine and William have no manners. Now, they were silent because they just don't like the biracial actress, self-made millionaire, humanitarian, skin-morphing Meghan. The problem is that everybody knows that this was just Meghan's plans to have the spotlight thanks to the Queen's death, and it was thwarted by William. That's why they had those faces. Meghan, full of frustration, and Harry, well, he was going to take a beating that night, and I don't mean it in a sexy way. Of the few silver linings that we could find is that Meghan somehow doesn't want to return to England. But do not celebrate too early. This might seem like the only good news that you could take from so many pages, but it's just another strategy from Meghan. Because it's obvious that she at some point is going to set foot in the UK again. There's no way she can avoid that for many reasons. I would say that she will be coming back to the UK before that WME contract expires. And the reason Scabies claims that Meghan doesn't want to go back is precisely that. This way, Meghan's future trip to the UK is going to be filled with more drama because people will want to see Meghan. Oh, poor Meghan suffering because she has been forced to set foot again in the land that made her life so miserable. And to make sure you don't read ENDGAME, here's another headline extracted from it. Harry's biographer calls Prince William unpredictable and Princess Kate lazy in cutting remark. According to Scobie, the pair are too stilted to attract young people. He also argues there is nostalgia for the Duke and Duchess of Sausages who brought fresh air into the palace. Well, I don't think that mocking people with disabilities is going to earn them the praise of Generation Z. And meanwhile, Harry, I stumbled upon this image today on Twitter and I couldn't imagine one more appropriate for him. But we have called Harold many things, from a puppet to a moron to Meghan's pet. Well, in fact, I have never called him Meghan's pet, but today is a great day to start. But what he really is the most pathetic empty shell of a man, and he deserves every single thing that's coming to him in the following months. Because karma of this caliber comes at you and fast. But I would like to know what you think about this in the comments. My Royal Rogues, remember the two most important words: much love and bliss.